Hello, ladies. Kate here from Social Mums Club, and I am also here with the amazing Ash from the Psych Professionals.
Everyone.
And also little Miss Lola.
Yeah, Lola's everywhere with us. Always around, always sniffing, and always ready for a pat.
She's definitely been loving the pats today.
Yes.
So we're here today. We're going to find out a little bit about your first appointment. When you have the thought about going to a psychologist, it can feel a little bit daunting about what to expect. So we're here just to have a little bit of a chat and to put some of those to ease, some of those thoughts to ease for our mums.
Yeah.
So when our mums or their children first arrive for appointment, what can they expect? When they first walk in the door, what happens?
So the first thing you can expect when you come in is usually to be greeted by a very friendly face at the front desk, and sometimes also a wagging tail and a wet nose, depending on which practice I'm at that day. And there's also some clinicians that also have dogs that come along too. So for any clients that are a bit worried about dogs at the practice, we send you all the information beforehand so you can let us know if there's any concerns.
Great.
But generally you'll have what's called our client relationships team member at the front desk, and they will be there to greet you and to make sure you feel settled and show you where everything is, the water, the Mentos, the toilets, all that sort of thing, and give you a bit of an orientation to the practice. And then normally we just ask you to have a bit of a seat, and we let the clinician know that you've arrived. And then if you have any questions or if you have anything that you need to fill in, we'll bring that out to you and explain any of that information to you as well. So it's all just about making everyone feel as comfortable as possible, really, and creating a space where people can come in, have a seat, have a bit of a deep breath, because we know that it can be really anxiety inducing when you first come in for your appointment. That is the hardest one to get to. So just coming through the door is like that amazing first step. And from there, we've got you, we hold you, and we take you through the process. So from clinical team to admin to the fluffy bums and tails wagging in between, we're here to make sure everyone feels really comfortable.
Great. And she gives you the continual pour up. If you stop patting her, she wants to keep being in touch.
Yeah, don't start unless you never want to stop, essentially.
So I guess, and myself included, when I first thought about psychologists, was that first appointment, and oh my gosh, they're going to get so deep, like this is going to be tears all the session and they're just going to hit me hard straight up. But it's not like that, is it?
No, usually it's really led by the client as well. So it can really be a matter of how comfortable you feel in the situation, what you're comfortable with sharing, and that is a limit that you can set, and that will be respected by your clinician. It is important that we delve in a little bit and get a bit of background from you.
Of course.
But again, there are those opportunities to pause and make sure that you're feeling okay through that process. I know as well it can feel really anxiety inducing and really scary thinking about sitting in front of someone in what feels like kind of a formal setting, but we really try and make it as relaxed as possible. This is one of our therapy rooms, and you can see that it's pretty chill. You can get comfy on the couches and the chairs. So it's really meant to be a space where you feel like you can sink in and just take a deep breath, take a big exhale, and know that the professional sitting across from you is there for you and to support you through the process.
And it's not like the movies with a bed that you lay on and pen and paper going the whole time either.
That's right. It is really about connection too. And that's a good point. I think something that's really done a world of good in our industry has actually been the introduction of supported note-taking. And so some of our clinicians do have AI note-taking in place if you're comfortable with it. Of course, that's with a consent process with you. But what that means is they can sit there and make eye contact with you, understand you, and really connect and take that opportunity to really absorb how you're feeling and be able to work with you even closer. And then some clinicians, they are just there to absorb everything and they write their notes after the session. So I think that's an important point too. Sometimes thinking about the details in your first session, such as, will they be scribbling a bunch of notes? Not usually. They're there to really listen and connect in that initial appointment, and it's really, honestly, it's an opportunity for rapport building and for you to get used to the environment and your clinician as well.
And I guess that session is also for you to use how you want.
Correct.
If you want to use it just to really get to know the clinician that you're going to be working with. And so they get to know you as well. Like they're going to ask questions about, I guess, do you have kids, or what age are your children? What do you do for you? And those sort of things. And it's really about building that rapport with that client because we want them to feel safe. We want them to feel comfortable and know that they're in an environment where they can just open up and it's safe.
Exactly. It's safe and it's at your pace, which I think is such an important factor. So it's not going to be like, tell us about the most traumatic thing that's happened to you immediately. It's really about, let's get to know you as a person first, you as a mum, if that's what the situation is. Yes, your kids, your family, your household, what that looks like for you day to day. If you're working, what that looks like. So it's really a little bit more practical at the beginning to understand sort of the, I guess, context of your life and who you are as a person, so that together we can formulate a treatment plan that works for you as an individual, which is really important. So there's really no one size fits all. It's really about individualized support and treatment.
Great. And if you're like me, I'm a bit of an ugly crier. There are tissues involved.
At the ready at all times.
I know with me, with my hormones, I can just cry over the most simple things. So it is a safe environment if you're an emotional person like me as well. There's obviously no judgments with any of that.
That's right. And I think the same for me. It's my tear ducts seem to be like hardwired to my words and anything I'm talking about. So it's really, firstly, really normal and okay to be teary, to be crying, to be ugly crying, whatever that looks like for you in that moment. That is accepted, that is supported, and there's always tissues at the ready. But I think that can be a really scary thing, just to think, oh, I'm going to walk in there and the floodgate's going to open.
Yeah.
And A, that may happen. B, it may not. You might find you end up just having a bit more of a lighter surface chat to begin with.
And Lola's a great distraction.
Exactly.
If you're starting to feel overwhelmed, just having a support dog to have that petting with is
exactly.
Yeah,
it's lovely. And so, you know, whether it's you come in and you have your big exhale in the chair in reception and you shed a tear, there's no judgment. Whether it's when you get into the therapy room and that happens, there's never any judgment around that space as well. So just know that you're held and supported through that.
Fantastic. Now, the other thing with a psychologist is it's not just for people with depression or anxiety. It is so much more than that. Even, you know, if you're struggling at home with financial issues, with marital issues, maybe just even, you know, having those times where you're struggling with your kids a little bit and just being a mum, or just even work, like you're having problems with work. Absolutely, it's so much more than just depression, anxiety. So, and what other things do you help with?
A lot of the work we do is with people that we call the worried well. So it's people who want to live the best life they can, and their clinical presentation might not be as complex as some other mental health presentations that we might associate with someone seeing a psychologist. So there's no, I guess, issue too big or too small. That's the first point. And that's completely true what you said, Kate. It's really about, it could be adjustment to a change, it could be stress. A lot of what we see is just situational stress, rather than like a clinical diagnosis, right? So a lot of the time it is that short-term solution-focused intervention, which really in simple terms just means we're working on whatever's happening for you right now. And sometimes that does expand into bigger concerns, but generally we do find a lot of people are coming in for those situational stress type of areas. We also work with people who are coming to an understanding around the way their brain works. So things like ADHD and autism. Neurodivergence in general is a big part of our practice, and so everything we do is neurodivergence affirming. And so I guess thinking about the way that we set the practice up is really important in that way too. So there are those sensory considerations in the practice too. And then we have anything from dealing with parenting concerns, relationship challenges. It could even be, you know, interpersonal challenges at work, stress from any type of situation, grief and loss. There's a really broad range of the types of clients that we see. And at the practice, we also work with adults around those types of concerns, and also children, while as demanding a pat, also children from the age of 6 at the practice as well.
That's great.
And so that can range from behavioural concerns, especially if you notice when littlies go to school, you often notice a bit more comparison, and you start to notice where things might be a little bit different to other kids or what you expected. And so if you've got concerns around development or attention or the ability to engage in the school environment, that's something we work on pretty closely as well. And again, always that neurodiversity affirming space as well.
And even with children, kids are back to school now for the start of the year, and whether it's, you know, maybe a child in prep, some do start at 6, or it's your teenagers, they cope differently with school and the stress of school and you know, sometimes kids put pressure on themselves at where they should be and where they're
Absolutely.
achieving as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can help with as well on the, you know, the stress levels and the challenges of school and how they're coping with it as well.
That's right. And as we develop from young childhood through to adulthood and beyond, there's always a new set of challenges that we come across. And so it could be, yes, school related, achievement related. It could even be for teens and young adults. It can also be that relationship challenge, interpersonal concerns, things of that nature as well. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're having challenges with their interpersonal communication. It could be that they're feeling not good enough, they're not able to make friends. They're feeling rejected by their friend group. It can again be very situational. So we find that to be an important space to support people in. And it just truly is something throughout the lifespan that as life changes and things adjust over time and you have new experiences, you're exposed to new things that you need support with. So.
Now, another question that I have is for our mums that are stay-at-home mums and they've got their children with them, but they're coming in for an appointment with themselves. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, can the mums bring the child in with them?
Yes.
Or would you recommend that it is best if they can try and find an alternate pathway?
Yeah.
I should say. Or if they can try and find an alternate babysitter or someone to look after their child, just so they can sit there and speak openly.
Yeah, great question. I think that ultimately getting support is the main goal. So whether that means, you know, you plan to have a babysitter and it fell through and you've now got your child with you and you come along, getting the support is the main thing. So we'll accommodate whatever you need in that space. Some suggestions, if you do need to bring your child along, would be bringing headphones or an iPad, some way they can engage with another activity while you're able to talk with the psychologist directly in a space that's still confidential for you. And open up openly. Exactly, that's right, because some of the discussion may be around challenges at home or your relationship, and so it's important that you're considering the environment for the child and how, or the young person, and how they might be able to still be in the room but not privy to the entire conversation.
Absolutely.
For older kids, we're happy for them to be in reception waiting for you, as long as you're happy for them to be unattended. Our team can't babysit them, but we can absolutely accommodate. If someone needs to wait in reception, that's not a problem. Ultimately, making time for you as a mum is really encouraged, but we know that's not always practically possible. So I think
inclusive to everyone,
correct,
no matter their situation.
That's right. And I think if we can support people to get the help that they need, that's ultimately what we're looking for. But yes, of course, if you feel more comfortable with making sure you've got other arrangements, then absolutely do that as well.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, we do have the clinics which people can come into. Yeah. You offer telehealth as well.
We do. So any of our clinicians will do telehealth sessions, and telehealth by default is usually video, which sounds weird because it's tele. So we offer a video session, and that is the preference because you can see and hear each other rather than it just being audio. But phone sessions are also available, and that's the thing with the flexibility too. It's whatever's going to make it more accessible for people. So either one is completely fine, and it ranges throughout the day and times that are available too. So you're able to make it as suitable for yourself as you can. And that could even just be to cut down on travel time and things like that. So you can just have the session and then get back to what you need to do that day. So it can be helpful in multiple ways, not just the convenience of being at home, but also the convenience of not having to go somewhere. But to our point earlier about the environment and who's around and what little ears might be listening, it's just important to think about that when you're considering your telehealth setup.
Of course.
Yeah.
And look, to be completely honest, like I'm someone that does use psychology and I do telehealth. I absolutely love that I can be in my own house, in my own environment. If I need to ugly cry, I don't have to, leave afterwards with those red eyes, which I'm okay with though. But being in my own environment as well, and certainly that, not having to travel somewhere, and I can sit there with, my cup of coffee and my pretty cup, and
you can have your slippers on.
I can have my slippers on, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even be in my pajamas if I really want.
Absolutely. There's no need to be business on top either. It's like full pajamas, comfy at home, you can get onto your session. I'm the same. I also access services with a psychologist via telehealth. I think it's important to acknowledge that people who work in the industry are also accessing these services too. And that's to our vision and mission of reducing stigma around mental health. Like we talk about you guys coming in as clients, but I really think it's important for us to where we feel comfortable, sort of self-disclose that we also do access this type of service. So I'm the same. I find telehealth really, really helpful. And being able to be in that environment where I know I've got the time put aside for myself and I've made sure I've got everything set up as needed. If something goes wrong, I can probably still have the session, except Lola's demanding pats the entire time I'm in session too. And so it just means it's really easy, and especially as there's, you know, cost of living goes up, not having to travel anywhere really, really helps.
And I mean, I would probably recommend, if you can and you have the ability to maybe come in person even for that first session. Just to have that real face-to-face in that environment to get to know each other. And then you can certainly move to the telehealth afterwards. But that's not compulsory either. You have both of those options, whether it's in person or telehealth. And once again, that means it is inclusive for absolutely everyone, no matter their financial status, no matter their stay-at-home mum status, or whether they can and can't travel or don't have access to a car. So we've got a lot of offerings there for everyone.
A huge part of our service is accessibility, and in the local areas, yes, for sure, with our practice locations, but yes, being able to be accessible for everyone is a huge part of what we do and part of our mission.